Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
First at 4 does start with breaking news. Traffic is now closed in both directions on I-94 just east of Woodward in Detroit. This all started with a chase involving Warren police. Let's go live to Rod Maloney, who is on the scene. All right, tell us exactly what happened, Rod.
Well, as best we can tell right now, what it was a chase, a police chase from Warren PD, and there were shots exchanged, shots fired. I'm going to step out here, and you can take a look down and see there is, I don't know if there are people standing in front of it now, but there is a gray Chevy Cruze, which is leaning on two wheels, leaning up against the Jersey barrier there, and the rear window has been shot out. Now, you see activity here now. The highway is shut down, but we have some video from earlier that shows you how hectic it was out here, because this all happened in the middle of traffic going in both directions. Now, I have counted no fewer than half a dozen Warren police vehicles out here, and in fact, we've been told that Chief Bill Dwyer has been down here to check out this scene. DPD is in fact saying that there were shots exchanged, that it was a police chase by Warren PD, and that that all ended here. It's actually just west of Woodward Avenue, near the new overpass that was installed a couple of years ago. And it's right underneath a parking structure over at Wayne State University. And it is in the middle also of a construction zone. Now, I had a chance to talk to Bill Dwyer earlier this afternoon, and one of the things that he said was that he has a system now with his officers where they have the green light to do police chases if they feel it is so necessary. He also told us that he has officers, he has superior officers back at the station, that if in fact there is a chase, and he said they happen very regularly in Warren, that they can monitor the chase and they can advise officers whether to continue with the chase or to stand down. And so obviously that's another one of those situations that they have here. They had a chase yesterday that we were talking to Bill Dwyer about that ended in an arrest of a couple of men who had rammed the police car. So he said this is a very common thing, and he wants his officers out there enforcing the law and trying to make stops as best they can. So but the expectation is, and Bill usually does come out and talk to us when there is a situation like this. So the expectation is that he will come and brief us on what is happening here. So this is in the city of Detroit, down by Wayne State University, I-94, just at Woodward Avenue. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Also breaking news, U of M and the Big Ten make a deal. Jim Harbaugh accepted the 2 games remaining on his suspension and decided to drop his lawsuit. The move means he is out for the Ohio State game. The school released a statement within the last 30 minutes on that decision that reads in part, the conference agreed to close its investigation. Coach Harbaugh decided to accept the sanction to return the focus to our student athletes and their performance on the field. We'll have much more on this tonight at 5. 1 down, 2 to go. The UAW has ratified one of its tentative deals with Detroit's automakers. The vote at General Motors was sort of a cliffhanger as several plants voted no during the process. But the final tally shows the 55% of those who voted supported the new contract with GM. 45% were against the deal. About 10,000 union members did not vote at all, so they could have shifted the results depending on their viewpoints. So far, no official reactions coming from Union President Shawn Fain or GM. Voting continues at Ford and Stellantis, with those deals expected to be ratified. We'll keep you posted. A Sterling Heights man is now charged in the murder of his girlfriend after he was found with her dead body. 42-year-old Martin Yost is charged with second-degree murder. He's being held without bond. Investigators say he was found in a car on Gratiot near I-94 in Roseville late Monday night. They say he was passed out with her body in the car, and sources have told us he was covered in blood with a clump of hair in his hand. Yost is expected back in court later this month. Crim Stoppers just announced a $15,000 reward for answers in the murder of Samantha Wohl. The Detroit synagogue leader was stabbed at her home back on October 21st. Police took a suspect into custody but then was released. Now her family is asking the public to step forward with any information that might help catch her killer. If you can help, call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. You can remain 100% anonymous. Longtime Michigan Congressman Dan Kildee will not seek re-election in 2024, which could help Republicans hold on to their slim majority in the House. Kildee has kept his seat in Democratic hands since 1977. His retirement gives the GOP a chance to flip the district that covers a few counties surrounding Flint. Kildee beat cancer earlier this year, but says the experience led him to reassess his priorities. He'll finish his term, which ends January of 2025. Now, some news happening in your local communities. We're going to start over in Wayne County. Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan helped celebrate the grand opening of the Reverend Dr. Jim Hawley residences at Woodward Avenue in Claremont. The $18 million project brings 60 units for low-income seniors. No one will pay more than 30% of their monthly income in rent. The mayor says the units are affordable, but almost really nice.
I mean, you drive down Woodward and you think you're looking at a high-end apartment, right? This is the way folks of all incomes should be able to live. This is what Detroit's about.
Okay, let's move to Washtenaw County for some early Thanksgiving cheer. Eastern Michigan University worked with a handful of organizations to hand out holiday food staples. Former NFL player Brett Hundley and his foundation helped support the giveaway. The Thankful for You event distributed more than 1,000 meals, and a sit-down dinner is being held right now. All those activities were perfect this afternoon. It has been gorgeous out there. Let's take a look now at what we are going to be expecting. It's live downtown Detroit. It looks pretty nice out there, Kim.
It is beautiful out there. We've got some increasing clouds, but still getting some sunshine here for the next hour until that sun sets just after 5:20. 63 at Metro, also City Airport, upper 50s in Mount Clemens. Look at Monroe, 65 degrees. It's 61 in Pontiac and low to mid 60s everywhere else. But tomorrow, all good things come to an end as we get rain in the morning, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon. The winds shift from the southwest to the north and gust over 20 miles per hour. It is going to be freezing cold by tomorrow night and even colder for next week. We'll talk about it coming up.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Any war against terrorists is full of tough decisions and often concerns about the impact on civilians. Right now, Israel is facing those challenges during its war against Hamas. Today, we have some new information about what seems to be happening in Gaza's largest hospital. Let's get to Kimberly Gill in the newsroom. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. The evidence seems to be adding up that Hamas had weapons inside the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City. Medical staff and Hamas continue to deny those claims, but the United States is now revealing what its intelligence is showing. This video was made available to NBC late yesterday. The Israeli military says it shows automatic weapons, grenades, and flak jackets found inside the Al-Shifa hospital complex. In some cases, soldiers say they found weapons hid behind an MRI machine. Still, the International Red Cross is growing concerns about civilians trapped in the middle, even as the U.S. supports Israel's claims about Hamas inside the hospital. Listen closely to what's being said here.
We're confident, based on our own intelligence analysis, that the basement areas of that hospital, underneath that hospital, and the hospital itself, is being used by Hamas as a command and control node, a place to command and control their fighters throughout North Gaza.
We're getting a lot of calls from civilians who are now trapped in the fighting in Gaza City, and they are pleading to be evacuated. But unfortunately, the security conditions are just simply not allowing it, even for our teams to be able to move around in these parts of Gaza.
Well, meanwhile, internet and phone services are collapsing across Gaza for lack of fuel. People could be facing a long-term blackout, even as Israel signals its next target could be the southern part of the territory where most of the population is now taking refuge from the war. So, Karen, we'll have another full update when you join us in just a little bit for Local 4 News at 5. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Today is the International Day for Tolerance, an initiative. It actually started back in 1995 to promote the understanding and the appreciation of the rich diversity of the entire world. However, as our Paula Tubman found out, one local researcher believes there needs to be a new call to action.
There is research being done right here on the campus of Wayne State University, and this campus is incredibly diverse. But there's scientific research being done right here that indicates just that concept of tolerance could be so yesterday. If you want to experience the world and a world of differences, the campus of Wayne State University in Detroit is a great place to be. People come from all over the world to get a world-class education here, and they bring their differences with them. Joydeb is from Bangladesh. Sometimes he wears traditional garb, and he appreciates when his clothing is accepted by others.
I wear the traditional dress up during my cultural programs.
Brendan says he often feels the sting of non-acceptance and sometimes barely tolerance.
I'm more feminine than most, masculine stereotypes there are, and I wish that people would accept that, especially people of a more conservative generation.
It's also on this campus that scientific research is being done on the psychology of human aggression. Dr. Pontus Leander, the director of the Center for Peace and Conflict Studies, actually measures people's reactions to violence.
Frustrated people are going to have more prejudices against other groups. What this research suggests is that those prejudices lead them to rationalize violence against those groups.
Because of his research, he's been led to question the usefulness of the word tolerance, created in the 90s, because it may actually inadvertently encourage us to hold on to prejudice.
The term tolerance might need to be updated, because tolerance, to me, implies that we've got a negative attitude about something or someone, but we'll tolerate it. As in, we're not going to act on it, but we're going to hold these negative beliefs, these negative attitudes.
What he believes is the act of tolerance actually begets intolerance in many, many ways.
And what that means is that we have what we might say in my field, a readiness to act negatively. We're just not acting negatively.
He tracks the reaction to violence, mass shootings, and the like, and what he has found is that people who feel they are losing, whether it's power, money, influence, position, or the like, often find reasons to tolerate violence against people who are different from themselves.
People are going to view acts of violence first based on who the victims are, and if they have a negative attitude towards the victims of a shooting event or any violence, maybe we're allowing our attitudes towards a certain group determine how negatively we view the initial act of violence itself.
So in terms of a day for tolerance, at least the research seems to indicate that the tolerance piece is the starting point, but it is the acceptance that gets society to the finish line. Paula Tutman, Local 4.